everybody, and welcome to our first speakers webinar at the Speakers Index on our Amplify program. We're all really excited for you to be here today, and we're all really excited that we are hosting the first webinar. We're all going to share a little bit with our little tips and hints and some info for you to all take. Just want to firstly introduce myself. I'm Ali Jones, and I am the project director of the Amplify program, and I have a fabulous team that I'm working with. But first of all, I want to just mention the lovely Sharon Brown, who can't be with us today, but Sharon is actually the founder of this project, and without Sharon, none of us would be here and none of you would be either. So I want to shout out and give a virtual round of applause to Sharon for coming up with this amazing original concept of a program that is not just going to make you a great speaker, but going to enable you to be a great communicator at any time or place in any situation. So I'm going to pass you over firstly now to one of my amazing team members, the lovely Sue, who's going to go through a few things with you first. But don't worry, you'll get to hear from all of us today. And we just want to wish you all a fantastic journey with us. And thank you so much for being on the journey with us too. Over to you, Sue.
Thanks very much, Ali. Hi, everybody. I'm Sue Kerr. I'm the Business Development Director for Speakers Index, amongst many other things. And it's my job today to start this party rolling by asking you to respect our housekeeping rules. Now that sounds a bit onerous. It's not meant to be. Essentially, what we want for all of us in this group is to create a safe space, one where we can be ourselves, one where we can relax and be open to the support that's on offer, but also to the well-meant, positive, inspiring critiques that will happen on occasion throughout the various events that we've got going on in the weeks and months to come. However, what that requires from all of us, the leadership team in here included, is a mutual respect for and of each other in order to keep it to be a safe space. If we are giving feedback to each other, providing critiques and so on, please do so in a positive, constructive manner. The overall aim for this group, for all of us, I think, on the team here, is that it will serve as a space only to lift you higher, not drag you down. So that said, there are one or two bits of mechanical housekeeping. And if you're anything like me, you're a bit of a technophobe. But if we can ask you, please, go to the settings on the group in the top right-hand corner and make sure that you enable all notifications for the posts that are going to drop into this group. If that means you have to turn off notifications from other groups, don't tell them, just do it and make space in there for us. We can help you to help yourselves, but if you're not seeing the posts, that's not going to happen to the degree that we want it to happen. There will be a schedule and a calendar being put into the group shortly, which will list all the things that we've got going forward. And I know Kim is going to talk about that in a little while, so I'll move swiftly along. There's also a files section at the top of the page. Now, depending where you are, where you're viewing the group from, whether it's on your mobile or on a device, a desktop, etc., it's going to be in a different place, but there is a file section, and we've already started to upload documents in there that will help you on your speaker journey, how to overcome nerves, etc., how to get paid as a speaker. Woohoo, we all want that, yes. Things like that. When we do live events, you will almost certainly be muted. If you're in a Zoom room, we will automatically mute you and unmute you as you can speak. But can you please, as if you were in a real life auditorium, not that we're not real or real life or indeed live, but if you were in a real life space, you would be asked to switch your mobiles off. Please be respectful of the people who are sharing their wisdom with us, and don't allow unnecessary electronic interruptions. Remember that this group is your group. Yes, we're here to support you along the way, and we will serve, as I said previously, only to serve to lift you higher, but we can't do it alone. If we're doing anything wrong, in your opinion, you need to give feedback to us. We are equally open to the feedback that you will provide us as your team to help us, to help you to be the best speaker that you can possibly be. If not now, right this second, and certainly 12 months time from now. I'm going to leave it there just for now, and I'm going to pass it across to my good friend Kim.
Hello, everyone. I am Kim Langling. Welcome to the Speakers Index. I am the Communications Director on this team, along with the three other lovely ladies. I'm going to share just a little bit about the schedule that we have in store for all of you folks over the next weeks and months. And that will be provided shortly as a document that you'll be able to have ready access to. But for now, Mondays will be Motivational Mondays. Tuesdays, we will have Tuesday tips that will be little tips that are helping you out upon your speaking journey. Wednesdays will be Words on Wednesdays, as well as every other Wednesday, we will have live practices where we can, and again, as Sue had said, this is a safe space. So we have time slots for folks that do live practices, and we can have constructive feedback live, which will be incredibly helpful for all of us, whether you're a beginner speaker or a seasoned speaker. Let's see here. Thursday is Throwback Thursdays, and we will be throwing out some tributes to past famous speakers. And it's always interesting to learn from those who have spoken before and their words of wisdom that they have shared. So we're going to be sharing those with you on Thursdays. As well as every other Thursday, we will have a guest speaker, a professional in their realm, coming in and sharing some of their top tips and providing some great stuff for us to learn from. That'll be every other Wednesday. And Fridays will be Fun Facts Fridays. And let's see here. We have so much going on, folks. Every other month, we're going to have an open mic night where you can get on there and you can do whatever you want. You can sing, you can play drums, play guitar, read poetry, whatever it is that you would like to do, that would be open mic night. And that's every other month. And then also every other month, we will be having a social where it's just all very casual and we can all get to know each other just a bit more. That sounds like a lot. It's because it is. We've been working very hard behind the scenes to get some really good stuff in place for all you folks in the coming weeks and the coming months, to make sure that you have a tremendous amount of value and that we all get to know each other and grow with each other and learn with each other. And then just rock our speaking skills and be able to go out there in the world or on this medium, on the world via Zoom, and just rock our speaking talks. Rock the talk. Hey, there we go.
Brilliant. Love it.
I just coined something new. Rock the talk, folks. So I am going to now turn it over to another wonderful team member, Elke.
Hi, everybody. My name is Elke Wallace, and I am the Database and Content Director of the Speakers Index. And welcome you all to the Amplify program. I hope you are going to get a lot of value from everything. There is a busy schedule ahead with a variety of things. We try to keep the group really interactive. So comment, like, maybe, yeah, if you have any kind of questions, ask us what we can help you with. And there will be more documents added to the files as well over time with more useful tips and tricks. And enjoy the safe space that you can get in the group on the Wednesday slots to practice your speaking skills and to get more and more confident with what you do. My task in the Speakers Index as well is to set up your profiles, and if there is ever anything that you want changed within the profiles, anything that needs added, send me an email, the Speakers Index email, and I think it's elke@thespeakersindex.com, and just ask or what you want to have changed. And next, I think we will all share a few really useful tips, and I'll pass you back to Ali.
Ali, you need to unmute yourself.
So do you know what? I've got a t-shirt with that on, you know, like this is unmute yourself. We all do it, don't we? This is the world of tech that we now live in. And you see, this is a blooper, and we just deal with bloopers here in this team, because this is how we roll. So yes, unmuted now. I just want to say, like, you can see just from, you know, what the ladies have said to you, how much value that we are going to be offering in this, and also how much growth that every one of us included in the team, are going to get from this. So on that note, I just wanted to start off by sharing something that's important to me, and also to share something with you about my entrance into the world of speaking. I'm actually a coach as well, and that's my passion, is to really help people on their journeys in life. And I just so came across somebody that I was having some coaching with that was really raving about somebody, and I thought, who is this person they're raving about? And I kind of went onto their profile, and it just so happened that day they were doing an event. And I went to that event, and I thought, you know what, something told me, the universe told me, just book it, just go, you're meant to go here, you were meant to hear this. And I'm a big believer in the universe and how it works. And so I went, and I ended up, funny enough, being picked to speak that night. That very night I went, I was called out of the hat and asked to speak. And I thought, oh my goodness, I mean, what are the chances of that? This is why I was meant to be here. Now, don't get me wrong, I was terrified, because although I've done lots of presentations through my old corporate work and lots of training, and I've run meetings, actually standing up in your own self, in your own being, in your own kind of personal way is very different to standing up in a corporate way. And so I wanted to run, let me tell you, I wanted to run right out that door. And I thought, why am I even here doing this? This is crazy. What possessed me to come to this event? Because now look what's happened. I've been called to speak. I was shaken from every center, but you know what? I got up, I did a very basic kind of a couple of minutes, introduced myself, said what I was passionate about, helping other people. And I literally was up there for a couple of minutes, and I was terrified the whole time. But let me tell you, when I came off that stage, I had this adrenaline rush of I knew that was something I wanted to have again. I wanted to experience that. And I kind of just realized that, you know, public speaking is like a roller coaster ride, isn't it? As you go up that roller coaster, you're terrified 1 minute, you're ecstatically excited the next, and then next minute, within split seconds, you're terrified again, thinking, what have I done? The next minute you're excited and exhilarated. And that's a bit like the journey of public speaking. The two go hand in hand. You can be terrified and excited, but let me tell you that what is going on there with those feelings is exactly the same physiological response in your body. So it's about flipping that fear to excitement. And something I've learned very quickly on, and this is what I wanted, my fun fact, my valuable fact I want to share with you, is about being genuine in yourself with that. You have to be really, really genuine. And what do I mean by that? I mean about kind of being in the moment, grabbing those moments. It's about the art of surrendering to this moment, not worrying about yesterday or tomorrow. It's not worrying about what ifs and what coulds. It's about trusting yourself. It's about taking responsibility for yourself, being honest and being real. And let me tell you, if you can try to be those things, if you can try to be authentically you, yes, it's vulnerable. Yes, it's scary, but you will build the trust with your tribe. You will gain the respect from the people, and you will build those connections that you need to be successful in life. So don't worry about people judging you for being you, because hell, they're going to do that anyway. So you might as well be you and just be proud of being you and go out there and do whatever it is you need to do. So be authentic every time. And that's my share with you today. So I hope that you get something from that. I'm going to pass you to Kim next. We're going to mix it up a little bit. So Kim, I'd like you to go next. So thank you, everybody.
That was lovely, Ali. Thank you. And I am Kim Langling. My background is sales and marketing for over 20 plus years. And the way I came into speaking was unexpected as well. And I'm wondering if that doesn't happen more often for most folks. I am also a veteran from the United States, and I'm a veteran, Air Force veteran. And years ago, the first time I ever spoke, I'm very, very involved in the veteran community in my area and have been for 25 years now. In my spare time, I'm helping veterans in need or their families in need when their loved ones are deployed, what have you. If they're going through difficult times when they come home, it's a difficult time for them, a way to transition home from military to civilian life. So I've been doing that for about 25 years. And I was asked, we have a yearly event. It's a huge event. There's usually several thousand people that come, and it's called our yearly Ride for Freedom. So we usually have, several thousand people, hundreds and hundreds of motorcycles, and it's a slow motorcycle ride to a specific destination where we have a keynote speaker. And one year they said, Kim, we want you to be the keynote speaker. And I said, well, I think you're crazy. I've never done that before. And knowing this would be a very large crowd, a minimum of 800 people. I'd never spoken in front of anybody before. And they wanted me to share a story about my grandfather, who in my area in the United States was at that time the last surviving World War I veteran. And he had a tremendous story, and it's called The Last Man's Club. Tremendous story. And so I shared that story, and I put that into a speech. And I was practicing and practicing and practicing in front of people and coworkers. And they said that I was talking really, really fast, and you could tell I was nervous. And, I hadn't even, this is just in front of 2 or 3 people. The day that it came to do this, there actually was over 800 people there. It was an outdoor event, 800 people there, and television stations, which no one told me about in advance, which was probably really good that they didn't, because I might have thrown up. But so I'm in front of this group. I gave my speech on my grandfather and shared his story. And granted, this group was all veterans, so it was the, best audience to do this in front of. And I got through it. And when I was done, you could hear a pin drop. All those hundreds of people, not a single sound. And it seemed like it lasted forever. And I just kind of stood there thinking, oh my gosh, I just totally trashed this half hour. And then it just erupted. The crowd just went nutso. And then I was swarmed with people saying, wow, what a story. Wow, praising me for it. I had never done that before. And like Ali said, you're super scared at one point, and then, wow, you're just like overwhelmed with emotion and excitement, and your adrenaline's pumping. That was how I got into public speaking. And I loved doing it. And I didn't realize how much I was going to like doing it. And I talked myself out of getting over that fear of getting in front of so many people for the first time. I actually just talked myself out of it. And I'm thinking, you know what, Kim, you know the story. This is about a family member. Get up there and do it, and just lead with your heart. And that was what I did. I led with my heart. It was a heartfelt message. And it was also accepted that way. When you have people in your audience, wiping tears the whole time you're talking, you're doing something right. So that's how I speak, and also how I write, and how I do most of everything that I do in my professional life and personal. Lead with the heart. And like Ali said, just be authentic, be yourself, be you, because that's going to come across better than if you're trying to pretend to be anything else. So that's how I came into speaking, a random way. A couple tips I want to share about speaking is, whether it's in person or online, and you have a big presentation that you're coming out to talk about for 40 or 45 minutes, or come out authentically, be yourself, smile. You want to be connecting with your audience as soon as you are online or you're walking out on that stage. You want to connect. So smile and be welcoming. But then at the beginning, Instead of jumping right into your story or your presentation, maybe throw out a random question to get the folks relaxed and to get you relaxed as well. Throw out a random question. Now, I like coffee. I love coffee. So, you could come out or have a coffee cup, use a prop. Use a prop, have a big coffee cup out there, or come out there holding one and ask a random question about coffee. Has nothing to do with your presentation, but it'll relax you and it'll relax them, and they'll be like, oh, okay, I think I'm going to be able to relate with this person. Let's relax, this is going to be a fun, relaxed presentation. So use a prop, throw out a question, toss out a question. It could be a rhetorical question, whatever, but those are a couple things that you can use to relax your audience as well as relax yourself when you get out there. Are you going to flub up on occasion? Sure. Yeah, you are. You might even trip on your way out if you're on, in person. I've done that too. I've tripped over a cord and came flying out onto a stage. I just kept going and laughed and said, hey, here I am. That's my entrance. Roll with it, folks. Roll with it and be the best you, the authentic you that you can be. And you're going to do fine. You're going to do great. So now I am going to turn it over to my friend, Sue Kerr.
Follow that if you can, Sue Kerr. Thanks, Kim. That was great. I didn't know that about you, RAF from grandfather. Awesome. That's another conversation we need to have. Right. Okay. I am an accidental speaker. Without doubt or exception, I am an accidental speaker on many levels. 3, 4, 5 years ago, being a speaker wasn't even on my radar. I had a message in my head at that point. I was going to write a book. I started to write a book. It didn't happen. It's going to happen this year for sure. My own book as well as co-authored stuff. So lots of different things have happened on the back of my journey. But being a speaker was never in the mix until one day I was approached by a lady called Susan Ball, who lives off-grid in Nova Scotia, and I live here in the UK. We've never met, even to this day, although we are firm friends in Facebook land. And Sue asked me to be on her podcast a show called It's Your Turn. I stayed up at a ridiculously late hour to be on her show. We had a really good hours-long conversation, and in one of the breaks, because it was going out across North America and the States, and they have ad breaks and all the rest of it. And in one of the breaks off air, she asked me if I'd got any goals or dreams or plans that I wanted to do in the coming year. The following year was 2017. So it was at the very beginning of 2016. And I just said, yeah, I've always wanted to go to India. And now I'm at this stage in my life. I'm definitely going to make that happen. I'm telling anybody that will listen that I'm going to India in 2017. End of conversation. Back on air, finished the podcast. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Several months later, one dark October morning in 2016, so nearly a whole 7 months later on, I'm still telling anybody and everybody who will listen to me that I'm going to India next year, but I've got no clue how I'm going to get there. And I get an email from Susan Ball saying, hey, do you still want to go to India? Hit yes, type yes, hit the send button. Went downstairs and said to my husband, I'm going to India next year. And he went, oh, don't start again. What are you doing, woman? So I said, no, I'm not, you're not coming. I'm going on my own. I'm now going to go back upstairs with my coffee and find out how. Long story short, she had written to invite me to speak at the Women's Economic Forum conference in Delhi. It was a conference. It was not a paid speaking gig. I had at that time no job. I had no money. I had nothing of any substance that would, even in my wildest dreams, get me from where I live in Yorkshire to 6,000 miles away in Delhi, let alone suited and booted and living in a 5-star hotel for a whole week. And yet it happened because I said yes. Because I said yes to that email, I subsequently got an email asking me to speak first at the World Forum Centre in The Hague for the Women's Economic Forum, another conference in the Netherlands, a lot closer to get to, a lot cheaper to get to. And I said yes to that. And subsequently, I went to London the following week, cheap and cheerful trips at my own expense. Because I went to The Hague, I met a lady called Shruti, who lived in Pune in India. She said, are you going to India in April? I said, yes. She said, good, we will share a room. I'd instantly halved my room bill for staying in the 5-star Pullman hotel in Delhi. They asked me to write what is called an abstract. They asked me to write an abstract, a thesis, a theme, if you like, for one of the topics that people would speak under. And I'd already got that in my business name, Fear Less and Live More. So I wrote an abstract about the absence of fear in life, helping us to engage in opportunities, etc. Because they accepted that as an abstract, I didn't have to pay the $600 conference fee. Boom! So I'm £600 better off, $600 better off already, even though I didn't have $600 to spend. I'm spending half price on my room rate for the week. Just got to get a flight. I checked the flights. At that time, there was something like £1,200 to get to India. Ooh, still a bit hefty. So I put it on a flight alert on the 4th of January, 2017. And I've already committed to go to India in April. I still have no job. I still have no money. I still have no clue how I'm going to pay to get there. The flight that I'd tagged as an alert came in at £342. I grabbed what was left on my credit card, boom, paid for it. And my husband went, "What have you done?" I said, "I've just booked my air flight return to India." And it was like, "Oh my Lord, what have you done?" I said, "I've no clue, but I'm going." A long story short, I flew to India. I was very proud of myself for changing halfway, and managing to get on the right plane onward. I flew to India. I spoke 5 times at 5 different levels during that week. I had the most amazing time in a 5-star hotel. On the way back, my flight to England, was delayed by 3 hours in Delhi. And I said to the young lady at the checkout desk, "I'm going to miss my connecting flight in Paris." And I'm panicking because I'm 6,000 miles away from home. I've never caught an interconnecting flight before, and I know I'm going to get stuck in Paris. Long story short, I was 10 hours late home to my front door. So I complained to KLM, who refunded me in excess of £800. I made a profit of circa £200 for saying yes to opportunity and becoming an accidental speaker. If I've got one message to impart to you, ladies and gents, in this group at this moment in time, it would be this: if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. I think that was Henry Ford. However, saying yes to opportunity changed my life in ways that are beyond imagination. Today I have a business. Today I am an international multi-award winning speaker. Today, I won't bore you with the details, and my life's by far from perfect. But the simple act of, number one, saying yes to opportunity as an afterthought of a throwaway comment to somebody who I've never met, who lives topside of Canada. Just say yes. Your life will change for the better forever, and your speaker journey for sure will open up opportunities that you can only even begin to dream of at the minute. Every time you get up on stage and you speak, whether you're being paid or whether you're out there promoting yourself initially for free to get your message out there, think about it like this: every time you open this, you plant a little seed somewhere in somebody's mind. Somebody will remember you. They will come back to you at some point in time, and they will ask a question to which I would always say to you, as long as it's not illegal or immoral, say yes. Because you can always say no afterwards if for whatever reason it doesn't work out. In terms of tips, the first time I spoke in public at the World Forum Centre in The Hague, I went in with a script in my hand. I was shaking like a leaf. I took one look at the audience and I literally went, because going back to what Kim said about leading from the heart, number one, I couldn't even remember what I'd written on my script. And number two, I looked at maybe 100 people in this room and I just thought, you know what? I'm telling them my story. Why have I written it down on paper? I know my own story, and I led from my heart. I can't even begin to tell you the benefits, whether you think you know what you're talking about, you're word perfect or not, the benefit of striding out confidently onto whatever arena it is, whether it's a networking event or a multi-stage arena, and just practicing the pause. Walk out, look at the audience, make eye contact with several people without sort of staring at them, and gather your thoughts. Enough for you to be able to start, because I promise you, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if you don't start, you'll never finish. What happens in between is you being intentionally vibrational, spreading your message, whatever that is, to the world. And people who need to hear it will not only listen, they will connect, and they will come back to you. Just say yes to opportunities, my friend. Right, I think that's me. No more excuses from you guys, because we've got your back and you don't need to make excuses. And having said all that, I'm going to pass you over to Elkie. There you go, Elkie.
Thanks very much, Sue and Kim and Ali. My God, they are very, very powerful stories. I don't know how to catch up with them. I can't compare to any, I don't have any kind of super powerful stories like that. They are absolutely amazing, amazing stories. Yeah, my own, when did my speaking journey start? My God, I've only ever spoke the once at the school. I had to do a lecture or something like that in the last year about history. What was it? German history after 1945, something like that. Yeah, that was the very first time, and very late compared to when I think of when children stand up in assemblies and do things nowadays. To do speaking first, which I learned from a school support course that I once did. The next time was at a course about professional English. There was something I had to do a talk about. And then that many years later, in the 2008 till 2010 counseling, CBD counseling training and work, group work course, if I could only get the details right, I had to speak a few times because we had to do group workshops, and we had to present a research project. So that was quite, yeah, a mouthful. Everybody had a certain topic within that project to speak about. And there was one thing in the group work thing where I had to lead a workshop with someone else, but I had notes. That was my key learning point with the notes. I looked at the notes and it was not good. I didn't feel it felt right. And my feedback was just like that. They were saying like, don't use notes if you can at all, because it takes away the attention from the connection that you have with the audience, and the audience might lose the connection with you as well. So that's a key tip for me, like try not to use notes when you're speaking. Where was I? That's my thing. My thing are brain gaps. Sometimes I lose the thread and I'm just like, okay, where was I? Okay, next thing is speaking journey. The next thing after counseling was I got curious about public speaking. I got this book from Andy Harrington, this Passion to Profit, and I got hooked by that. And I thought, I like what he's talking about. I like what he's doing. And I went to one of his workshops, Stand and Deliver, it was called, and it was in Birmingham. And of course, it kind of included like the pitch to the Public Speakers University. But I liked his story. I liked what he was talking about. And I just got hooked and I said, yeah, I'm going to do this. So I did the Public Speakers University in late August, early September 2017. And it was a few days. It was actually an emotional roller coaster at the same time as absolutely tons of value that we learned about public speaking and putting it straight into practice on the spot as well. I still have the notes from that, so I hope to utilize a few things, maybe in documents or maybe putting something in other ways into the group that will be of benefit to you all who are in the Amplify program. So yeah, that was the training that I've done. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't utilized it too much. I've only spoken the once as a business. The first time as a business person, I spoke in Burton-on-Trent. Was it last year? No, it was September 2019. It was November 2019. September, I wanted to speak, and then my father passed away, so I couldn't attend. But it was November, and at that point I wasn't very, I just spoke from the heart as well. I didn't have any notes. I just told my story basically as I went through life and everything, and some experiences. And this was part of Revival Sanctuary. And thanks to Revival Sanctuary, I landed my place in the Speakers Index as a database and contents director. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And another good tip that I would like to leave you with is, watch your mindset. Watch your mindset very carefully. And that's not just applying to speaking, it's applying to everyday life as well. Because I'm now going back to that quote that Sue used from Henry Ford, the one, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. Such a great quote, because your mindset might stand in the way of you achieving the success that you deserve and the success that you want to achieve. Self-talk, positive self-talk is important as well within that thing of mindset as well. That it needs to be a good positive self-talk, because if you keep thinking, I can't do this, if you keep thinking, I'm not good enough to do this, this will stand in your way of you achieving what you want to achieve, or as well in bringing your message across. So you can do this. Your message will drive you. If you've got a very powerful message and you are so desperate to get that out to the world, it will help you to have the right mindset, so that you can do this. This is so important. It needs to get out there, so you will do this. So watch your mindset. That's my key tip. And I actually go back to Ali. I've lost the thread again because I don't know what we're on to next.
Thank you, Elke. And I just want to say thank you, all of you ladies. Some fabulous tips there. So we've got Sue with absolutely spot on advice of say yes to opportunities. And I couldn't agree more with that. You have to say yes. Worry about the details afterwards. Just say yes. The universe provides you all the time with constant opportunities, and it is our responsibility to take those opportunities and just say yes. We've got your backs here. So this is one big yes you don't have to worry about. But just in life, say yes to opportunity. It really does serve you well if you do. And fear, you can get over that. Honestly, it's a doddle. And like Kim says, you know, it is about just getting your audience to connect with you, really using certain tips and hooks enable you to do that and connect with your audience. Because if you can't connect to your audience, you've already lost them. So, but there are ways to connect, and she's just shared some really great ways. I love the share of falling onto the stage, Kim. That's brilliant. But you know, you can turn that to your advantage, which is what Kim sounded like she did, and she created an entrance. So you know, it's about kind of just connecting, and that falls back into what I've said about being authentic. You can connect when you're authentic and be in the moment and just be real, be honest, and take responsibility for who you are and the moment. And you know, and so thank you all. Thank you, Sharon, for starting Revival Sanctuary, which is a great networking area, for starting that, which provided the opportunity to then create this Speakers Index and the Amplify program. And thank you all ladies for your brilliant tips, and for just your wisdom and to being here on this team. I'm really, really grateful for all of you and your presence. Thank you very much. And thank you all for listening to us here. We're really excited about the journey with you. We are looking forward to it. And so that's a thanks from me. I don't know if any of you ladies would like to say a lasting words, finishing words.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look forward to the journey.
Yeah.
No matter who and what you are, remember, you've got this and you are enough, regardless of what anybody else thinks.
Absolutely. You are enough.
Perfect. You are enough. Thank you guys, and have a great week ahead and a great year.